Snow is actually one that's one that I can't just like cold call and play. You know, I gotta like be ready to play it.
All right, Chris. I was right. Well, kind of right. Almost. It is harder. Yes. Cool. You said the opposite, but okay. Sure. I don't even know what we're talking about. I mean, I didn't talk about the moment on the stage.
I lowered the lights a bit. Is that a little better?
Yes.
I know it's hard to tell with no lights on, but I know it's gonna get bright. I've been trying to convince him because you know the stage actually used to be right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been trying to convince him to move those lights on this column over here. One day. Yeah, that's right. My thing is, you have like a rectangular room. Why would you ever set up the stage facing the shore?
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that again. Because you clearly go.
Never made sense. Oh, yes. He must have done a long
Every time I see it, I like kids crying, whatever I gotta
If I may have your attention just for a brief moment, please. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We'd like to welcome you here to the Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe. We have a few birthday acknowledgments we'd like to give out. And the first one is going out to my girl, Miss Kimberly. Where you at? There she is. Everybody say birthday to Kimberly. We also have a happy birthday shout out going out to Anna and Prentice. Anna and Prentice, where you at? Everybody say happy birthday to Anna and Princeton. Take it down, some of y'all. Any more birthdays in the house? Uh-oh, I seen a hand go up. Donna. Everybody say happy birthday to Donna. Did I hear any more birthdays in the house? Go up in the front. Can I get a name, please? Kayana? Everybody say happy birthday to Kayana. We also have an anniversary shout out going out to Kenneth and Sarah. Where you at? Well, that is happy 6 years, y'all. Congratulations. Any more anniversaries in the house? All right, folks, let's get to why you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd be so kind as to give me your attention just for a brief moment, please. Thank you. This is this group's first time here, so we want to give them the proper courtesy. Is that all right with everybody? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, give it up for the gentleman on keyboards tonight. Put your hands together for Mr. Kayvon Williams, y'all. I couldn't hear that. I said Kayvon Williams, y'all. What's up with that? Jeez. What is going on? Jesus. All right. I don't need no help. Oh, wow. And on bass, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, put your hands together for Mr. Alex Webb, y'all. And slapping them skins in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will. All right, Chris. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Chris White, y'all. Up in front on saxophone. This gentleman will be here next week with his own band. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, put your hands together for Mr. Houston Patton, y'all. And the man leading up this group on trumpet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time here at the Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe. Give him a warm, warm welcome. Put your hands together for Mr. Gideon. Could be Karim Gideon. All right, Karim. Ladies and gentlemen, we here at the Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe, we just ask, just out of respect for the guests that are here to hear the music, if you can just keep your conversations just down to a minimum while the band is playing. They're going to give you 1 hour and a half of music. You guys can help us close it down and get ready for tomorrow. Is that okay with everybody? I said, is that okay with everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, put your hands together for Mr. Karim Gideon.
Thank you. Welcome to the Dirty Dogs Jazz Cafe. I can't talk right now. Once again on the piano, looking cool on that head. We're in that head over there, Mr. Kevon Williams on the piano with the fedora on. My main man Alex Webb on the bass. Chris White on the drums, ladies and gentlemen. A young man who's going to be here next week performing with his quartet, Mr. Houston Patton on saxophones. And I'm Karim Gideon. And I play the trumpet. The first tune we heard was written by one of the goats of the trumpet, Mr. Lee Morgan himself, entitled Search for the New Land. I think a lot of us are exploring that option, physically, spiritually, and mentally. But nevertheless, it's a great tune. I love Lee. And we're searching for that new land, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of which, we're going to go to one of his best friends and fellow jazz messenger, the great Wayne Shorter. And this is going a little bit different than, we're not going to venture into Blakey Wayne Shorter, nor Weather Report Weather Shorter. We're venturing into Miles Davis Wayne Shorter, when he was a member of that quintet. This guy right here know what I'm talking about. The second great Miles quintet that featured Wayne, Herbie, Tony Williams, Ron Carter, Detroit's own Ron Carter. This is a tune that was recorded on the album Sorcerer entitled Mascalero. Mascalero. We went there, didn't we? That was Wayne Shorter's Mascalero. The next tune we're going to do is the original time. There's a funny story to this tune because when I wrote it being my best friend who's in the house right now, who was walking from the arcade, going through another day of hustling Street Fighter, was it Street Fighter, Tekken, whatever we was doing back in the day, the whole arcade. And this melody came up in my head, and I got home, I started practicing it. And then the next day at school, I meet up with the late great Teddy Harris, and I play it for him. He's like, "Oh, that sounds nice. Let's work on this." So this is the fruition of walking with my best friend, coming home from making we made like $50. Probably more than that. We was beasts in Street Fighter back in the day. Now, not so much. But yeah, this is a tune I wrote when I was in high school, learning this music entitled Miscellaneous Ones. Hope you enjoy. Thank you, thank you. That is a Miscellaneous Ones written by yours truly. Funny story is that when I was a student of the great Teddy Harris, one of the most interesting things he had me do was transcribe whatever. And he used to have me transcribe hip hop. And I used to have to transcribe at the time, some Nas, some Biggie, some Pac, some Busta Rhymes. That was interesting, transcribing Busta Rhymes. More interesting, transcribing ODB. I never told my best friend this. He said when I showed Teddy a transcription of ODB, he was like, "Oh, that's just nothing but Deloney's Monk." So that was when I wrote this, and he asked me what I was hearing. He's like, "Go with what you're hearing. What are you listening to?" So if the vibe is there, that hip hop vibe is there. That's where it's coming from. So speaking of which, of him letting me explore music, I was a fan, and I grew up on listening to Wynton Marsalis. And the next two tunes are one is from his second album. This is what we're about to play right now. It's a tune written by the great Kenny Kirkland. Kenny, if you ever listen to Kenny Kirkland play, you know he was he was him. And a lot of pianists, including my Kevon, is hugely influenced by Kenny. This is one of his tunes, more interesting tunes, and I remember rehearsing this. We took an entire rehearsal learning this tune, and you're gonna hear why. This is Kenny Kirkland's Fuchsia. Thank you, thank you. Once again, Kevon Williams on the piano, ladies and gentlemen. Kevon Williams. Alex Webb on the bass. Chris White on the drums. Houston Batten on the saxophones. And yours truly on trumpet. So we're going to stick with the Young Lions movement for a minute. We're going to go to the album that's every trumpet player in the world studies, analyzes, dreams about, I'm going to sound like that one day. Wynton Marsalis's Black Coats from the Underground. We're not going to play Black Coats from the Underground. We're going to play the tune that the picture of the gentleman that this tune is written for is right outside our green room. There's a picture of him. It is about his younger brother. And I can understand why this younger brother has his situation, because you have Wynton in one ear, Branford in the other ear, then Father Ellis, and then his younger brother, Jason, in the back, in the rear on the drums. This tune is entitled Delphio's Dilemma. Delphio's Dilemma, ladies and gentlemen. Delphio's Dilemma. Once again, Kevon Williams looking like Wynton Kelly over there on the piano. My main man, Alex Webb, on the bass. Alex Webb. Sitting in for Jeff Tate Watts, Mr. Chris Webb on the drums. Chris White on the drums, ladies and gentlemen. Houston Patton on the saxophones, digging into his inner Kenny Garrett over there. And of course, there's me, Karim Gideon on trumpet. The next tune we're gonna do is a tune written by Herbie Hancock. Some Herbie. This is a lovely Herbie tune. That's the backstory for me for this tune is that when I was going to a gig in Japan, I was on the train to Tokyo, and I encountered this very beautiful woman riding on the train, sitting across from me. Me being, at the time, a very aloof 20-year-old, book with some headphones on and nose in the book. I probably was reading Cornell West or something like that. I look up and see her, and I'm like, and the ego, like, dude, the girl. Instead of me saying, hey, or mushi mushi, nishiwa, hi, she says, what are you reading? And we engaged in a conversation. And from there, instead of getting her number, I asked her, can you come to the gig with me? And she said yes. And we spent an entire evening. She was actually on the stage. She was sitting where this table would be, just enthralled. And then after which, she goes and we go out and talk. And I asked her, like, what do you think of the music? She says, well, I really love the way you play, but there's one tune I really love that you guys played, and I really liked. And I asked her, what was it? And she begins humming the tune. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, I know that. Tell me a bedtime story. She said, yeah, I like that. Because you're not, because she was talking about how crazy I played back then. I was gut-wrenched back when I was younger. But Herbie, she loved the way I played on that. So that was the start of the most, every man has that moment when he has that relationship, that one relationship that defines who he is. That was mine. And this is to her. So she's not longer here with us on this plane of existence, but I love telling her a bedtime story.
Right on.
Tell Me a Bedtime Story, Herbie Hancock. Once again, Kevon Williams on the piano, ladies and gentlemen, Kevon Williams. Alex Webb on the bass, holding things down. Chris White on the drums. Houston Patton on the saxophones, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Houston Patton, who's going to be here next week. If you're enjoying him, make your reservations to hear him play. I heard this quartet. These some bad cats. You want to check these guys out, seriously. I'm going to give you a little hint. 22, 23, 25. These young cats, my man Garrett Wright. It's a philosophy that I learned from two of the masters I studied with, Dr. Teddy Harris Jr. and Harold McKinney, is that it is your job when you're the elder statesman to bring up the younger talent and give them opportunities and play. But more importantly, let them just do their thing and find themselves in this music. And these three individuals are some of the baddest young cats I've known. I'm glad they're joining me on this journey. And I'm thankful for having them with me. The next thing we're going to do is a ballad I discovered when I was my first gig in Tokyo. And ironically, this is one of the most infamous stories I tell, because I tell about when I got stuck in Tokyo and I met a Yakuza boss. The Yakuza, the Japanese mafia. And my first gig, I had to learn this tune, and then I foolishly went to the big Sega arcade to play some Street Fighter. And ended up missing the last train to the base. And if you ever been to Japan, you know the last train leaves at 12 and get stuck. But if you ever got the chance to go to Tokyo and experience some nightlife, and there's a certain quiet period, everything is just loneliness on the streets. So this is the Toru Masahino composition is entitled Alone, Alone, and Alone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, that'll do it for us. Yeah, we ended off on the ballot. That's old school. That's a very old school thing. But if you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on social media. You can find me at Karim Gideon Music, or my personal web Facebook, Karim T. Gideon, as well as Instagram. But more importantly, I am on YouTube. You can find me there. I'm going to probably grab this and repost this performance because this was live streamed. As well, one more time, give you a round of applause and your hands together. Mr. Kevon Williams on the pianos, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Webb on the bass. Chris White on the drums. Houston Patton on the saxophones. Yours truly, Karim Gideon, trumpet and flugelhorn. Thank you guys for spending your evening with us. I know my main man Sub-Zero decided he wanted to have a battle outside and started a blizzard. That Sub-Zero. That's how it goes. This is Michigan. I hope you guys get home safely, drive carefully, and in the immortal words of the great Russell Simmons, thank you guys for coming out. God bless. Good night. Peace.
For real. I looked up, it was like 9:44, and I was like,